Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another episode of Total War Arena Battle Commentary. Second part of my two-part feature, double feature. If you remember, last week I promised that this week, next week from back then, obviously, that's how calendar works, and I have never been mistaken about how the calendar works, okay? So anyway, if you haven't watched that battle from the previous week, I highly recommend you do, because it sets up the story for this battle, sort of. So we are in a very similar situation, same map. We did add special to our party. We were a 3-man party before, now we are a 4-man party. And we are on the same side. We decided to go to the same flank and essentially just do the same. Songo is now playing Liu Bei though. Cheddar is still Dong's Wall Swords. And we are here pushing the right flank. Aya's Canada Archers. And special here. Ghost of Canal, premium unit, tier 7 premium unit on Caesar nonetheless. So a very interesting choice. The enemy already putting up his reinforcements, caltrops, stakes, being spammed all over the place. Here under Germanicus coming, so not a lot of good targets for me as archers. Enemy cavalry coming around from the flank. Cheddar and Solkung moving against it to prevent it from getting to me. But we are sort of outnumbered. Well, it's 9v9 in terms of melee units. We have some 2 incoming here. But 3 of our units are being held back by Special being asleep. So it's only 6 units in here. And this cavalry trying to get on my ass, but they already wasted their charge to just dodge my arrows. Which is an interesting choice, and he also kept being blocked, which made it easier to defend me and for me to shoot him. So now that the cavalry threat is gone, I'm fighting some really nice re-shots onto the cavalry here and the Lanida's infantry. A huge blob of infantry as well inside the base. Sorry, not inside the base, inside the A capture point. And here the Germanicus is winning with vengeance. The stakes are kind of preventing our movement, our flanking movements. Okay, what will I do here? That is very interesting. I can no longer land re-shots over here because I will just end up doing a shit ton of friendly fire. So instead I will deal a shit ton of friendly fire over here on this Germanicus blob. And now Solkung is attacking from the rear. Although I think I should have been just able to shoot there for a longer time, but I still have a very good target over here. I'm using barrage and snipe. And thanks to Solkung, all my abilities are recharging a little tiny bit faster. So that's always nice to see. We've got some Elephants reinforcements, but the enemy has respawned or healed their cavalry. So we need to unblob from this blob fight against Germanicus and go into defensive positions again so that our allies, my allies, can prevent the enemy from charging me. That's what they do. He tried to get through, he failed. Now that the Germanicus has been disengaged, I can also find some nice angles on him. But the cavalry is really trying to pull through to me to prevent me from shooting. But I now decide against it and run away, and as they run away, they're also suffering quite a huge pull-out damage. There we go, both units have been shattered. The last one is still here, right next to the healing zone. He's not retreating though, he's charging into the point, no, going around, trying to go after me. So I'm going behind a corner, I'm going towards Solkung and Cheddar. I do get charged, I was a little bit slow on my reaction, so that's a fuck up on my point. But the point is that we are going to get point A, which is very important. Just one last soldier left, he's an oath. There we go, we got him. Cavalry is now in shatters running away. I'm trying to get this unit to shatter as well, but no such luck. He's out of my range, even though there's still 5-6 soldiers inside my range that I could shoot and made it shatter, but no, the game doesn't let me. So anyway, we just capture A. We're gonna go back to heal, and we check the situation on this flank. E again. We have already cleared all the enemies around A. Well, the enemy didn't clear our forces around E. They're still taking their time, but they are going to do it sooner or later. Oh, we have wasted the opportunity for a beautiful charge. Maybe the charge was on cooldown. Our archer is getting caught out of position as well. So we've got only one player still keeping E. And with the enemy ranged units in here shooting the barbarian units, yeah, they're going to disappear very, very quickly. What we are up to, we have already healed up at A, and now we are going again towards the enemy base, but this time through the forest. So we're going to emerge closer to C. We have no idea what's in here. We have no scouting in there, no intel. So just gonna go there and see for ourselves. Spot some infantry here. Our elephants are already making their way over to the enemy healing zone base. So they're very set on the idea of capturing the base, while we not necessarily, because we are not that certain, because this much bigger blob of infantry in there at E able to go into our base than what we have. And we don't know what's at C. We see that there are at least 4 melee units, so we cannot cap C quickly enough. And the base also is not looking very good, so we all recall at the same time to counter the enemy push towards the base. And this is what they're doing. They're pushing straight to base, essentially getting the same idea as we did in the last battle, right? The only difference really between this battle and the previous one is that we reacted faster and we recalled before they got on top of our base, so we managed to get in and we'll be able to contest it better. But I'm not able to go in there and contest because I'm just ranged units, and they have a lot of cavalry in the area threatening me and trying to needle through some charges. There we go, this cavalry is coming around, there's no melee infantry trying to cover me. The cavalry just ignored me. I'm like, well, I guess I'll die. And because I guess I'll die, I'll just deal as much damage as possible before I die to the enemy archers. And we somehow need to get rid of this cavalry, because it's going to deny all the healing that we can get. So Cheddar is pulling back one of his units, trying to prevent that cavalry, and now it needs to be killed at all costs. And it's much easier to make that calculation of costs if we have a healing zone right on top of here, and eliminating this cavalry will mean that we will get to heal immediately. The base is captured by 5 enemy units, we only have 2 inside. Some of our cavalry and Solkung is preventing enemy glaives and folksmen from getting in. Some repeating crossbows are also caught by them, another cavalry unit incoming, and all our infantry just engaged. But I managed to dodge the charge. The same cannot be said about other archer player. Now that the cavalry is mostly tied down, there is an opportunity to go and heal, but there's also a threat of the enemy repeating crossbows. The units are not that big though, so yeah, I do decide to go back and heal, and that there's an opportunity to do so. I launch one last barrage before I go. Arguably a mistake. I think I should have done that. Should have healed and then used barrage with full units. And 2 of them were mostly full, but the barrage on the third one was kind of wasted. And yeah, the enemy team still has 8 units inside our base, which is only 2 of ours. But we do cap the enemy base with 2 of ours as well. Yeah, these guys that were set on capturing the base started doing so and forced some enemies back. So that also relieves some of the pressure from our base, which is very nice. But yeah, they're not going to hold in there for long. The right flank is in our possession, but the points are 3-2. The enemy controls our left flank and the center, and we control only the right flank. So as long as they keep us here in the base, and even if they don't end up capturing it, they're still holding us here and preventing us from getting any points anywhere else on the map. But they're slowly running out of soldiers, as we do have a healing zone very closely. So I managed to heal up a lot of our units that were fighting in here. My archers are back to full health, and the enemy cannot heal themselves, so they're just forced back. The cavalry try to get an opportunity to capture E, but they are driven off by enemy 3 units of cavalry that must have respawned over at E or healed up, one of the two. Didn't really track them. Now that I can't really do anything to the infantry anymore inside the base, I'm just getting some shots, volleys off onto the enemy cavalry that's incoming, trying to threaten me and our healing zone. Did he just use a no, that was a different ability. Okay, flowing water. Okay, he could have charged in here, denied the healing for the repeating crossbows and the swords of Cheddar. Yeah, the repeating crossbows have brought back 2 units. So now we need to be quite decisive on our counterattack. The enemy has been forced back, they're running back to this healing zone, and now this essentially a race to the points to try to regain some control. The enemy is doing pretty much the same. They have regained control after our attempt to cap their base. Now they're moving over to A. But I see there are 4 melee units in here, so they're not going to capture it. So they're just sending their cavalry to a different side, which is kind of a shame, because those 4 units of infantry are kind of useless there. I mean, they're preventing the enemy from getting back the point, but they're also not going to join the front lines. So maybe a little bit slight overcommitment there. 6 enemy archery units here behind C, providing a lot of fire support. Nice blobs, by the way. One of them realized that he shouldn't be a blob. But hey, set cauldron to the kettle, or whatever the saying goes. And I managed to dodge a charge. I mean, baited. Perfectly timed. I totally didn't get charged at all. And I'm already barraging the enemy repeating crossbows. I am their counter, so that's my job. That's what I'm doing. You know, playing the matchup correctly, just staying outside of the range. I do have quite a large range advantage, so I'm just going to use it. And not let them get close. A lot of our cavalry is getting close, but this cavalry here is being stopped by both the enemy cavalry and the enemy glaives. Try to find another charge in here onto the repeating crossbows, but he really doesn't need to. I'll just take care of it, and he can maybe chase off the cavalry, deny the healing zone. He has a lot of other options while I finish off the repeating crossbows, and now as they run away from Cheddar's infantry and glaives need to hold them, we can just finish them off. And hey, there we go, nicely. Yeah, that was like, I'm gonna scare them with this focus fire. Yeah, you don't go there, go straight to my cavalry. Yes. That's definitely what happened there. So, clearing this guy here. It's nuked. No, he's not going to run away. A is still being contested, but not for long. This unit is going to rout. Just get all the units inside E. There we go. Yep. Cap it as quickly as possible. And we already have a unit at B, which is really nice. C is still being contested. A is not being contested from their side. 2 units of infantry, 3. There we go. Coming in there. So Special will finally have something to do. Just needs to engage him ahead of the point. Special. That is close. That is dangerously close. But he has not been let on the point, so the point isn't contested, so we're still getting points from that. And the points are important because we just barely managed to pass the enemy. Wait a second, we have more points and yet the blue bar is like a little bit shorter? Or is it just some illusion tricks that are being played on me? But that's what it looked like. Like we had more points and our bar was shorter. But whatever. See, please fix, I guess. We got E, we are getting B. Cavalry run past there to join the infantry, and we, as the slower units, moved over to C. There's a barrage coming my way, so I'm dodging. Just got grazed by it, that's fine. Now that the studio is showing its back, doesn't work from the back, but it does work on Solkung as well. So yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. I shot, he charged in. Should be only one of those, not both at the same time. But anyway, I'm moving forward, getting onto that archer blob, focus fire, not using my barrage, apparently I don't need to, but this guy is almost finished, so yeah, saving my barrage for something else, for a spicier target. And yeah, there we go, great accuracy in my archers. Yep, still miss, nope, and nope, that was focus fire. But I do have another player of archers here, hidden inside Fog of War, showing himself for a brief second. I didn't get a hand off. Oh, now he's getting close. I think he wasted his barrage, right? He just used the barrage, and then he moved forward. So yeah, he got baited hard. And now that I see him, I get a flat arcs. He's inside his friendly units, so he doesn't get flat arcs. And he's getting forced out. The elephants are incoming as well. Cavalry already behind him. Really nice. And we are getting 6 points per second. A is being contested. They sent quite a lot of reinforcements to A, so our 4 units that were defending in we did get some reinforcements as well. Very special, is he dead? No, he has 2 units somewhere. One of them is here, barely alive, and the other one is here, okay. It's hard to notice while they are at such low health. He doesn't get to run away. So we got the left flank, and now the enemy is trying to trade that for their left flank. So again, kind of just mirroring each movement, or not mirroring, because mirror would be just meeting on the same flank. Well, depends how you point and mirror. Okay. Let's say mimicking our movements. There we go. Mimicking is the right word. On the opposite sides. So denying the heal from these archers. They're still blobbed right after healing, so I'm using that to my advantage. Cannot shoot properly. And I also have the XP advantage that is high enough, so not only suffer AP damage from him. Also he was using barrage, so the AP damage was also lower. Really nice. There we go, he's finished, C is being flipped, and we are in control of all the points, although that is definitely going to change very soon. We also don't have anything at D. Special is dead, so he can respawn at D. We don't see the timer though. We see the timers for the left team, so that's probably like a replay bug, and it only shows it for team on the left, or team 1 essentially, in replays. But now we can go to the enemy base. The path is open, so yeah, sure, you can go capture D, but we're just gonna capture your base. But let's see what we will do. Now we are actually going back to heal at C. Looks like it. You know, in this situation, you can risk going to the new base, and we would probably win. But that's just probably. But the option, the scenario that gives us pretty much 100% chance of victory is just going to face them at D. Yeah, they're going to capture D. They might come towards our base, but we're just gonna stop them. And there is no way they're gonna crawl back that point deficit. So that is the decision we are making. So of trying to win in a flashy way by capturing the enemy base, we're just gonna go and stop them. Our special did respawn at D, but he realized that was probably a mistake, or it was too late, so he recalls back to the base. Now he's going to join us as we heal back at C and move towards the enemy positions that will be coming from D. We don't have any vision, we don't have any cavalry scouting for us there. The enemy cavalry is trying to take B, but that's not going to happen. We have infantry in there. Other 2 units of infantry just chilling on the hill zone for some reason. Now our cavalry is also going there. For again, kind of no reason. We could have really used cavalry here to block the enemy cavalry, for example. And we do have only 1 cavalry player. I managed to land some hands. This unit is hunted, but I didn't manage to hunt anything else. And the hands aren't on cooldown. Yeah, I'm probably saving the hunt on the repeating crossbows. There we go. Managed to hunt them. Oh, the Glaive is thinking about recalling for a second, but there's nothing really threatening the enemy base from our side. And they should be aware of that since they have scouting at C and B. So it's not looking that good for our side. 2.2 points per second to just 2, but we still have quite a lot of advantage. We just need 400 points more. So we're just taking it safe. C has been lost as nobody really left anything there. B is also not looking too hot, but we might just get back D before the battle ends. The majority of our units are here. We have quite a lot of quite a huge man advantage in here. Oh, just one Germanicus is pushing out all Germanicus Scipio range units away in this little choke point. But I can also deal with him. Also has no access to Testudo. More units coming in from the flank. Almost only 300 points left, but the enemy is now getting 3.3. And the path to D, they have some kind of really nice layered defense, so layer after layer. They still have some repeating crossbows in here, but I believe I killed most of them, so they won't have that much firepower to really threaten us. They're making their way towards our base, but that capture is obviously not going to happen. Just putting up pressure, I guess. Trying to get us away from C. and B is somehow still being held. Well, that's pretty much the magic of the healing zone. But even though the enemy has man advantage, unit advantage here, it was looking really badly. As long as we can get the heals off, we can just replace our units and essentially be have double the soldiers, even though we don't have double the units. And we are finally making our way to D. Unit got routed. We just need to intercept D so that they don't get to contest. Can do that. Elephants are moving towards that. They can prevent the movement a little bit with the stones, but it doesn't look like the enemy wants to move anyway. Just a repeating crossbows. They got the heal off here. Firing on our foxmen. No, don't leave the point. They left the point. And we almost flipped the point, and now it's all gone and needs to start over again. This infantry player, if he wanted, he could have just pulled through and actually start contesting. But he also doesn't really want to do that. We're pushing towards C. Only 1 point gained per second on both sides. A lot of points are being contested, but D has been flipped. So 2 points per second for us, and as soon as D is locked, it will be 3.3. And we are only 100 points away from victory. So try to guess what is going to happen. Oh, these swords are almost dying, but almost is not enough for the enemy team, as we do capture D in the end. And I'm just driving, farming some damage before the battle ends, I guess. Let's show the scoreboard, just for the sake of it. There we go. But doing pretty well. Well, special camped for the most part on the capture point that wasn't really attacked. So no wonder he got the low score, but hey, he still contributed quite a lot to our victory. So this, why it was a double feature. The previous battle had a very similar scenario, but it ended in a much different way, because this time the team that got their base attacked recalled in time and managed to get control back over. So again, is one of the many scenarios that can happen in your battles, but it is quite a common occurrence that, you know, both teams just invest more soldiers on one of the flanks, and those flanks happen to be opposite flanks, and they just capture each other points, and then they race to base. And then you as a player need to be aware of all your options, you need to be aware of how to judge the situation, and then after judging the situation, make the right decision. In this case it was recall to the base. Don't try to raise them into their base, because we would lose that race, or so we reckoned. So we didn't risk it. We came back before it was too late. We managed to get control over our base, and essentially we didn't get a taste of our own medicine. So yeah, that was a very good battle, interesting one as well. So I hope you learned something. And well, if you want to help us bring Total War Arena back to the West, you already know what to do. And until the next episode, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields Commanders.